Do you want an intro? Shall I intro?
I mean, I introed the last two, so I feel it's up. You can.
So I can take back.
Yeah.
Take back Sunday.
Because mainly when I do the intros, is you just step all over my intros. I let your this is what I've noticed. So I just let your intros go. I don't step all over them. But so.
You should. You should try it.
Yeah, but you'll just come at me.
I'll win. It's because I'm the power bottom of this conversation.
I mean, you do have a powerful bottom.
It's meandering movies. It's meandering movies. It's meandering movies. So won't you lend an ear?
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of the Meandering Movie Podcast, where we sit around, talk about movies, and go wildly off track. I'm Gary Copeland,
I'm the Girth Master Funk Gav.
also known as Trenchfoot.
Nope.
We have Audio Boy.
What up?
And joining us today as our resident expert, we have...
Hi, I'm Floyd Watson. Pleasure to be here.
Hi, Floyd.
Hi, guys.
Good to have you in, Floyd.
I'm going to meander with you guys.
Let's get our meander on.
Oh, let's get all meandery.
Take our tops off and get rubbish against each other.
Let's get Sigourney
fabulous.
Weaver in Alien 4 and get sweaty.
Yeah.
Yeah, today, the reason we want to get Floyd in and the reason he is here is because, like I said, resident expert of Godzilla.
Yeah, man.
And that's what this episode is going to be about. We're going to talk in part and hopefully in a lot, but doubtfully.
That wasn't even a
not.
sentence. That
We're
was
going to
not
talk.
a sentence.
We're
you
meant
just
to talk
constructed.
about Godzilla. I was trying to say we're definitely going to talk about the films, the most recent ones, and we're going to try and get a history of Godzilla in there as
A
well.
brief history, at least.
Brief history at the very least.
Yeah.
But the reason I fizzled out is because God knows.
Not so easy to do an intro, is it, Gary?
God knows
I
what's
didn't even
gonna
step
happen.
over your intro. You just fell apart.
Got no stamina, man.
I got stamina. I got the stamina of a mighty beast of Japan named Godzilla.
Oh, wow.
And we're back in, boys.
Segway!
So,
yeah,
Godzilla.
With Godzilla 2 coming,
Godzilla, King of Monsters.
Godzilla King of Monsters coming out, we thought we'd record this. Straight up, I love the new Godzilla films.
So you like the
I like
Gareth
Godzilla.
Edwards?
2014.
Gareth Edwards got what's that? Has that got a
Snowfest.
subtitle?
Just
Or is that
Godzilla.
Just called Godzilla.
Loved Godzilla. Needed more Godzilla.
Way
Needed a
more
lot
Godzilla.
more Godzilla.
Yeah.
They needed to
'Cause-
come
'cause
in
the-
earlier.
Because the film is. I say I loved it. I think it.
Have you?
I
How
think it
recently
tricks
have
you.
you seen the most recent? That
I'd
Godzilla
say I
film?
watched
It
it
was on
again
last week.
2016, 2017, so maybe 2 years ago.
And how recently have you seen it, Floyd?
Like 3 nights ago. It was on TV.
Oh, so you
Just-
did,
just
wait,
by
you did
coincidence.
research for this.
I got it halfway through after Bryan Cranston had died, so that's when the movie just goes downhill. You know?
Yeah,
He's in that movie for genuinely like 7
and he was in
Yeah,
the trailer.
He's plastered all over the.
because
you know.
Breaking Bad at that point was
Yep.
still massive.
massive.
Yeah.
But I mean that monologue he gives when he's trapped in the wee room, I was like, yep, this was worth it.
Brian Cranston doing his
He,
thing.
he's getting his paycheck.
And he got that paycheck.
And then he dies 10 minutes into the film, and you're like, oh, we're stuck
you're
with
left
Aaron Taylor
with-
Johnson.
Yeah, it's,
They're
Aaron
the most,
Johnson.
And,
like, one of the
Elizabeth
most
Olsen.
vanilla.
who just plays wife.
Yeah. She's a fantastic actress, but
Yeah, she's
she just plays concerned wife.
yes.
And it's sad.
Well, it's sad because she's concerned. She's worried. She's worried where her man is.
She's just a
Yes,
plot
but
point, though.
yeah, but her man's just wherever the plot needs them to be.
They're both just plot points in a meandering film
Yeah.
that just sort of goes along until, "Ah, it's
I mean, I'll never defend the Joel Schumacher movie because there's nothing good about it. But at least Matthew Broderick had purpose in the movie. He wasn't just military man who
He was a worm expert.
he was a worm expert.
Wait, is that
Funny
his
last
role?
name that no one could
And
pronounce.
he had a weird relationship with a reporter woman who might be the most annoying person to ever be on screen.
Yep.
Wait. Is that his role in that film? He's
Yeah.
a worm expert?
He's
does
some
he
sort
do
of
with-
biologist.
It's to do with the
Yeah.
radiation from the nuclear explosions makes
I remember
the
this.
worms.
He was
like-
in Chernobyl at that point.
Yeah.
And they took him from Chernobyl, took him over to
What,
New York.
Godzilla.
No,
No, Matthew
Matthew
Broderick.
Broderick.
Right.
Because he
And-
was studying what the radiation effects had on the worm population there.
Right, okay.
And
why did
radiation
why did they
obviously
think
goes
he
with
was
the
the ideal...
Because he's the
ideal candidate
expert
to deal with
at how
Godzilla?
radiation affects the
Worms.
biology of creatures.
Yeah, but that's... No.
Worms.
You can't be the expert of how radiation affects biology of worms and then go, yep, lizards. What do you know about lizards? Oh, I know nothing about lizards. I'm a worm expert. No, well, you do
Well, that-
radiation, so
he
you're
made
in with
that
us.
point clearly throughout the film.
Does he make that
yes,
point?
he makes that point.
Oh, shut up then.
You know.
Cracking. That's a fucking stupid otherwise.
The whole movie's awful.
It is a terrible film.
I'll give you the one good thing that came from that film was later on in the Japanese timeline. I think
Oh, yeah.
around 2006 they made Final Wars, which is basically just an all balls out CGI fest of just everyone stomping each other.
Nice.
They dropped American Godzilla straight in front of Godzilla for a fight. I think it was in like Sydney, the Sydney Bay and
Flies
Harbour
into the
House,
Sydney Opera House.
and it basically one shots her. They call her Zilla, to
Zilla.
distinguish
Yeah.
from main Godzilla, and she basically gets her shit pushed back in
I mean, in
like
fairness,
2 seconds.
Because how else are you going to tell the difference between them? They were so identical.
They were
in,
not.
in their
They
look.
look nothing like each other.
The one from the Joel Schumacher movies looks like if a velociraptor got on steroids.
Yep.
And then other Godzillas look like Godzilla.
Yeah,
Because the Joel Schumacher Godzilla is not even that big
No, it's
no,
tiny.
it's absolutely tiny.
compared to
most Godzilla. Godzilla changes in size for like
Depending on
all
what
the
you did.
time. Yeah,
So Godzilla the first one I enjoyed. And what I was going to say way back was it's a trick because I remember enjoying it loads more than I think I enjoyed most of the film because the last 20 minutes
Yeah,
are,
it's fucking
are so
immense.
Yeah.
bitchy.
Like the minute those guys jump out of that plane and they're just like
they're airdropping with
the airdrop,
smoke and it's all really
so
nicely shot. It
atmospheric
looks
and
really
cool.
nice.
And then there's obviously the big fucking monster fights where it's just, you love it.
and then
just
is it atomic
barfs
breath?
Oh, the barfing scene.
Yep.
Never ever been so happy to watch something barf into something else's mouth. And I watch some weird shit.
A couple of times, man. Like that was up there, like
Oh,
top
definitely-
5 at least.
Yeah, definitely top 5.
Top 5 barf into another thing's mouth.
That's it, This is when you get into Japanese stuff.
It's called a rainbow kiss, isn't it? Is it rainbow kiss?
I would have said baby birding.
Oh, that's so much
yeah.
worse.
Have you? Yeah, there's that thing you do where like you take a shot, you have it in your mouth, and then you baby bird it into someone else's mouth, and then they drink the shot.
I've never heard that
Calling
term.
it baby birding is just like at least
It's
a
like
rainbow.
because baby birds can't like digest.
No,
food,
I
so
get
they're-
the reference,
yeah.
Philip.
Okay, check it.
Audio boy's here to teach you about fucking biology of birds now.
Because we don't have Matthew Broderick.
We don't have Matthew Broderick, the worm expert. We've got Audio Boy, the bird expert.
We need to take you out to New York. There's some kind of dinosaur terrorizing the place, audio boy.
It seems to be barfing into everything's mouth. He's like, I'm your guy.
Baby bird this.
We call this baby birdzilla.
He's just like, generals, they just can't digest the food. That's why they're doing it. So, thanks, Audio Boy. Thanks for showing up.
I'm
Cheers,
pretty
audio
sure
boy.
mutos can't digest radiation, though. That's the thing. Atomic breath.
So yeah, it's great. I think it's a bit of a trick in the sense, you watch it, the final 20 minutes are bitching, and then it kind of sucks all the rest of the crap out of your brain because you're just left with
You
this.
forget that
It's like
Godzilla did
having
shot.
a mediocre main and a phenomenal dessert. No matter what, you kind of
See,
go away thinking,
The thing
I
with
enjoyed
that
myself.
Gareth Edwards one is it follows a Spielberg rule of don't show your monster until
Yeah.
30 minutes in,
Yeah.
except it doesn't show the monster until at least an hour
An
and a
hour,
half in.
it's an hour into the film
Yeah, and it's
until
just
he
like
shows up.
you need to just
And I think that's
Get it
where
out there.
Kong, the new one,
Kong's Guy Island.
5 minutes in,
Boom, there's
boom,
Kong.
full on camera,
'Cause there you go,
wrecking
that's-
shit.
And that's straight in afterwards. Kong Sky Island.
Yeah.
That's the proper title.
Yeah.
Because I was calling it. I was talking to someone about it the other night, and I was calling it. I think I was calling it Monsters Kong Island. Monsters Kong Island.
Right.
I mean, that's dumb and it's wrong, but I could not
Kong
remember it.
Skull Island.
Kong Skull Island.
Because he lives on Skull Island with all the other giant monsters.
And they drop in that nice. Oh, he's not even at full size yet.
Yeah,
he'll
he's
be.
still a kid.
He's gonna keep growing.
Yeah.
Because they
Also
were
the-
setting up for
The cast of that film is fucking immense. And
Yeah, how
Tom
did they get
Hiddleston,
such good
John Goodman,
Alison Brie?
Samuel
Not Alison
Jackson.
Brie,
Brie
Brie
Larson.
Larson.
Brie
Oh
Larson.
my god. Oh yeah, I'm
Samuel
gonna get that.
Jackson being
Samuel
Sam-
Jackson
I love
is
that.
in
Like
it.
Samuel Jackson.
John
just-
C. Reilly.
Yeah,
John
just-
C. Reilly. Yeah.
Everyone.
Yeah, that's
With-
right. I've seen it.
Also
with his Akira jacket on.
I honestly really enjoyed that one
directed
as well.
by Jordan Voight Roberts, who's going to do the Metal Gear Solid movie with Hideo Kojima.
Do we need a Metal Gear Solid movie?
Yeah, but this guy fucking knows and loves Metal Gear.
No, but what my point is, you play a Metal Gear Solid game,
Yeah, but-
and it's like watching a Metal Gear movie.
Yeah, but we're not going to get any more Metal Gear at this point because Konami's just
No.
spitting out.
Let's
shit.
play pachinko. We're
Yeah,
only
they're
making
just doing fucking
pachinko.
pachinko machines. We aren't going to get more Metal Gear. Instead, we're going to get Death Stranding, and where you play an Amazon delivery man.
Man, what is that Death
I don't know,
Stranding
but
game?
I'm so in for it because it's
I'm
Hideo
really
Kojima.
not. I think I might be in the minority here. Of
No, there's a lot of people who are just like, I don't get it.
no, but not just Death Stranding. Just Kojima. Well, the way Kojima went near the end, Metal Gear Solid 1's great.
Don't come at Phantom Pain. Phantom Pain's a fucking solid game.
No, but it's not the games. It's the fact that they are just movies, and then you play through them, and you go, "Oh, okay, wait. I'm just
Well,
all
no,
I'm
because
doing
the
is
fucking
moving to
the
the next
gameplay
bloody."
of Phantom Pain was unrivaled that year.
It was
That
alright.
gameplay was just so
It was
addictive
okay.
and so.
It wasn't. It was fine. It was
fucking
more
brilliant.
stealth.
That game was so fucking good. Don't come at Phantom Pain.
But is it?
I will take a razor to your balls.
I guarantee you could speak to 100 people
I
and
don't
ask
know
them
100 people.
what their favorite games of the last 5 years are, and Phantom Pain won't be up there for 98% of them.
Okay. They'll all choose Skyrim and inferior shit game.
The Shrek 2 movie tie-in game.
Do you know what that was called? Shrek Rumble, and it was
Oh,
a
not
cheap.
that one. I mean, like the Shrek 2 one. There was many games,
There
but
was a lot
Shrek
of
2
Shrek ones.
is a good one.
I mean, to give you
also
to
Barnyard.
give you context of the games that Philip's currently excited to play, is he was recently home visiting the family, and his sister decided to give him some games for his PlayStation 2 because that's how up to date he was. What games did you get and bring back with you for us to play, Philip?
SingStar, bitches.
Oh, nice.
So, and the only thing I gained from that is like we've got 2 more mics to record now, so we can use SingStar mics
Choice.
to record.
That's the way to do it. That's great. Man, I'll play some SingStar with you.
Yes.
What's your song of choice?
Ooh. I'm going to say Relight My Fire, but I take that.
I'm gonna say
It's a
I've
solid
only
classic.
got 2 SingStar games, so your choices are a little limited. But Relight My Fire was always
If you
good.
have Twitch, you know you can do SingStar on it, but like an infinite number of songs.
but I also think
Did not know that.
uh,
Twitch sings.
Oh,
And you record yourself, and then you can go do duets with people.
I've just found my new career.
Limmy's doing it at the moment.
Oh yeah. Also, thanks for asking what my choice of song would be, Gary.
What was your choice
Mine
song?
would be Britney Spears' "Toxic" because I have the outfit.
Nice.
That is an option. Genuinely, that is an option.
Oh great! I've got the outfit and everything. Show 'em off my love handles.
Yeah, I'd pay to see that.
Would you?
Not much.
I was gonna say because I'm
It's like a fiver or something.
I'm looking for some money. Anyone else want to throw into this pot? 'Cause
It
I'll
costs
put
a lot of money to to fit in that.
Yeah. So Kong Skull Island.
Yes.
Kong Skull Island is a bit of a weird one in my circle of friends because I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it as well.
But I had a lot of my friends that said I didn't like it, thought it was a bit crap, didn't and kind of did a Gavin on it, tore it apart.
Why is that? Why
Did a Gavin?
That's not a thing.
It's absolutely a thing.
I just love the silence and then you looking at me saying, "Yep, that's actually a thing."
Yeah, did a Gavin. It's tearing apart something that's universally loved just for the sake of it.
Don't do that.
I'm gonna go on Urban Dictionary and add that right now.
To do a Gavin, a verb.
I did really enjoy it though. I thought I think Godzilla the first one was trying to reboot it. I thought anyway. Godzilla the first one was trying to reboot the series, and it was going down the kind of dark and gritty feel,
Yeah.
which is fine. And then when everyone responded super well to just the monster fight scene at the end, they went, "Oh,
Only.
okay, we should just do that."
Yeah, because I think with Gareth Edwards, he tried to make a grounded
Yeah.
kind of Godzilla film, and
See it from like the human perspective.
yeah, because most of that film's shot really low,
Yeah.
looking up, or you see
That's
on
why it's like
TV.
so. Yeah,
Yeah, and it
it is only the last 20 minutes where you get the aerial view.
yeah, and you just,
You get the good stuff, the money shot.
What are they called in that one? Mutos.
Mutos.
Muto.
Massive unidentified terrestrial objects. Something like that.
Hey, probably objects
Yeah.
like a UFO.
We could just like split hairs and call them kaiju. Even though they don't call them that.
They are kaiju.
They're kaijus. That's what they are. You know?
Kaiju's such a
do you think
cool
in
word.
Godzilla King of Monsters they'll just drop the big word kaiju?
No, they're calling them titans. And
mean,
they're
that's also
skirting
good.
it.
That's
Pacific
also
Rim
good.
didn't skirt it. They were like, they are kaijus.
Yeah.
We've got giant robots. They're kaijus. Let's kick them in the face.
You're saying kaiju like it's a specific thing.
It is a specific thing.
Well, would you like to tell us?
Yes. Well, kaiju. Kaiju is
Wait,
a
sorry. There you go. This is insert number one.
Yeah, sorry,
expert
okay.
explanation. What is a
Kaiju.
kaiju?
is a Japanese term for a large monster. The word means strange beast, kaiju.
Cool.
And it's
Don't get that confused with cool Jew.
no,
Very different. It's a very different thing.
in 6 different flavors.
In the middle of an interesting fact, you just dropped in with.
Cool Jews.
You know,
Jesus was one.
it's just an awesome Jew.
Mel Gibson, I think, has something to say with that.
He's clearly never watched Passion of the Christ. No, it was a term coined by the Japanese because it's their genre. They,
Yeah.
Barring say King Kong, early days, the Japanese were around the first to have the giant monster genre. Interestingly enough, the same year the very first Godzilla came out in 1954, America released a film called Them, or with like an apostrophe, it's like, Them, and it was all about giant ants irradiated by nuclear testing.
Oh, really?
It's the exact same year, and it's the exact same. Godzilla came from the bombings in Pacific.
Yeah.
And
Do you know what that sounds like? twinography.
Hey.
If you want to find out what a twinography is, you can go and listen to one of our previous episodes.
Episode 3, I think.
Episode 3? Episode 2, 3?
4.
I will definitely listen to that.
Yeah.
Although I already have. But I'll listen to it again.
I was going to say, it was that good. Floyd's like, I think I've listened to it.
Yes.
If only someone had coined a name for what they'd done here.
Yeah.
That's mental though. So America did the exact same thing.
The same idea, different sort of approach. It was more just sort of giant ants, and they were just sort of pasted on the background, and people just running away from them. What was it I was watching recently? It was Lilo and Stitch.
Yeah.
You know, random.
That took a turn.
Definitely.
Okay.
No, I was
that coming.
I was watching it with my 1-year-old, and for the first time, and
Shout out to Freddie.
shout out to Freddie, my main man.
Freddie.
And
You'll listen to this hopefully at some point.
I'll
when
save
you're
it
old
for him,
enough.
and he'll be like, "Dad, what the fuck were you doing? Why are you not talking about Spider-Man? That's all I care about."
we
So
can
yeah,
talk about Spider-Man.
He's a good
Stitch walks up to a TV, and them is playing like the giant ants, and he starts going, "Rawr, rawr," and he builds
Oh,
like a
that's
wee,
cool. Yeah.
wee mini town and starts wrecking it, and you know, it's a nice
That's
little
that.
tidbit.
That's
So-
bad. Yeah.
When are you going to show Freddy Eight-Legged Freaks?
Never, because it's a terrible film.
Just making sure you're a good father. Just
Although
film.
he's already seen Deadpool.
Winner. So I actually hadn't thought about it until you just said that. So there really isn't. There's not really any that I can think of giant monster films.
You
Attack of the 50-Foot Woman.
Other than that's the only one I was going to say.
Clash of the Titans, King
Oh,
Kong,
yeah. Oh, all of Harryhausen.
all the Harryhausen stuff.
Yeah. Okay, ignore me. That makes. But I suppose in my head that's not. I haven't got that class as a giant monster film. I've got that
You
classed
wouldn't.
as
Yeah,
Sinbad
as mythical,
and mythical,
yeah,
and
the
it's
Greek mythology films.
it's like a whole different genre. But I suppose it's
Yeah, it falls into like a really loose sort of genre.
So there's actually not a huge amount of American giant monster films, right?
No,
Not a huge amount. We've got the Harryhausen stuff.
the older stuff we've got the Harryhausen, your King Kong,
Yeah.
or your sort of stop motion claymation monster kind of stuff.
And that's probably the reason I was confused a bit. Not confused, but in my brain they're separate because that's all stop motion claymation. Whereas Godzilla never has been, to my knowledge. He's always
never.
been man in a suit.
Man in a
Actor in a
tearing it
suit,
up.
or at least a puppeteered suit, depending
Yeah.
on the characters. Yeah.
Well, I guess wasn't Shin Godzilla, was that one of the first CGI?
That was partly CGI, partly there was a guy in at least the final form. But yeah, the sort of four-legged amphibian kind of thing was purely CG. With the googly eyes and the gills, like venting fluid, coolant. I think they called it coolant. I don't know.
So before we fall into the full-on history of Godzilla, which I think I'm the most excited for in this episode, because I just like it, and I'm excited to have your knowledge wash over me, Floyd.
Are you never excited to have my knowledge wash over you?
Oh, because you're just so grumpy about it. Godzilla King of Monsters, Godzilla 2, for all intents and purposes, is coming out soon.
On Friday, next Friday, 28th.
28th.
So that'll
So
be
this may
Wednesday.
This will go up just
Just
before.
maybe is it going out just before?
Yeah.
I was gonna say maybe afterwards.
Goes up tomorrow.
This is
On the
gonna-
day that this is released, it goes out. It comes out tomorrow.
Doing a podcast is like figuring out time travel,
Yeah.
isn't it? It's great fun, guys. So yeah,
It's still Back to the Future,
when you go and see it tomorrow,
Mm-hmm.
a week and a day for us. Yeah, let us know what you think. But yeah, so it's coming out a week tomorrow, or tomorrow.
29th of May,
Confusing myself.
which is a week tomorrow. Which is
Oh,
tomorrow.
yesterday then. Never mind.
So what are our initial thoughts
so-
from
yeah.
the trailers?
From the main trailer, I'd say it's Millie Bobby Brown reacts to the movie.
I mean, the first trailer they put out at Comic-Con, where it's Claire de Lune, I think I've talked about this before. That trailer is immense. Like, I just want that trailer of the movie because it's like it's so beautiful and that the visuals and everything just look
It's all
stunning.
the monsters emerging
Yeah,
and having their
and-
their big spotlight.
Big spectacular moments. And then the more trailers they've put out, I've been like, what this looks like a bunch of just nonsense.
Yeah, but it is, isn't it?
Yeah,
Kind
but
of the point.
but
It's well established nonsense though.
Yeah.
But it's the whole thing of like the humans just being like, "Oh, we're gonna," or we're gonna make him his pet. Like, no, you'll make us his pet, and then they'll, I don't know, like Millie Bobby Brown's gonna have like a friendship with Godzilla, and
Yeah,
I'm
there's
just
gonna be
like,
some sort of connection. As
yeah, and I'm just like, oh,
So,
nah,
so
just-
the reason I may not be kind of jumping in here as much is because I've done my usual and not avoided the trailers for Godzilla, but I haven't
You've
mean,
kept away
gone
from
out of
like
my
too
way
much.
to
You don't-
watch it. Yeah, because I
wanna go in
I
dry.
try, yeah, I try and go in as as clueless as possible.
Yeah.
So I did know Millie Bobby Brown was in it. I did kind of catch the end of a trailer the other day, but I didn't. What you guys are talking about, that trailer, she was in it for like a brief second, and I went, "Oh, cool, Millie Bobby." She was in it like that little amount that I was
every
more.
single scene in the trailer that featured her, which is her turning around and looking shocked. So,
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, there's one.
I've not
Like,
seen
I think she
this.
says a line at one point like, "Don't let them hurt him" or something like that. And I was
Yeah.
like, "What? Why does she have a connection to
is it your best?
Well, because
pal?
they tried doing it with Aaron Taylor.
Aaron Taylor Johnson?"
Or is it Aaron Taylor Johnson?
Yeah.
It is,
Aaron
yes.
Johnson. So they tried doing it with him, but it just didn't track at all.
Because-
it's so vanilla.
Because there was
Yeah.
there was no moment where they even had a
Yeah, they never earned that moment of those two meeting.
connecting.
Yeah.
It was always just him kind of going, "Yeah, Godzilla will save us," and then Godzilla stomping through city blocks, and you're just meant to go, "Yeah, maybe he's doing that for Aaron Johnson." I guess.
I mean, let's not forget like Ken Watanabe in the first one, where he just like let them fight. And I was like, yes, Ken Watanabe, let them fight.
Are we going to decide this, or are they like, let them fight? Well, we're going to anyway.
I know.
We don't really have a say.
It's like, guys, not today. It's God's day. Can we fight tomorrow, please? Thanks.
Like, hold on, guys. And they're like, oh.
Thank you, Godzilla.
You
Thank
can offer
you,
them like a giant cup of tea
Mutos.
while they're waiting. Like,
It's like kids are off school today. It's like, it's like parents can't get time off work, so can we not fight today? It's like,
everyone wants a show. You know?
There's
Yeah.
that twist in the first Godzilla. I could be misremembering this, but the twist that, oh my god, that Muto is kicking ass over here. Thank God Godzilla's nowhere near it, and then it kicks ass over there, and then one person goes, "How did it get there so quickly?" And then the big twist is that there's two Mutos,
and
right?
they're coming together to mate. That's
Yeah, but I just feel like that's such a movie twist because in the real world, anyone would have gone, "Well, there must be two of them."
yeah.
Because like, there's a 4-mile radius. Stuff's getting wrecked either side of it. It's like,
Yeah.
there's more than one thing doing this.
Surely
Godzilla's
someone would have
nowhere
gone,
to be seen yet.
It's not the same one, I don't think. Also, that image of it next to that building, and that building is this many meters high, and this one is way shorter, so it's
Well,
definitely
this one
two.
has wings.
Yeah, such a movie thing though of just
Yeah, it's like everyone in the movie just had to be dumb for a second and just not understand clearly what's happening in front of them.
and as a viewer, you can't they don't give you the pieces to figure it out. So when it happens, you have to go, "Oh wow, cool," but in real life, that's dumb.
Because we don't get the narrative in real life.
Exactly. So you guys
We
are
don't get the joy of Aaron Taylor Johnson just wandering around looking
Just
at
being a
things.
plot point.
Just being
like, for an
Elizabeth
hour.
Olsen.
adding a human element to Godzilla. So you aren't as fussed about this new one,
I mean,
or are we as fussed?
it looks gorgeous, and I'm looking forward to watching just the massive spectacle of.
I'm excited for the spectacle.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the spectacle of
I
them.
just want to see big monsters beat the absolute shit out of each other.
Right? That's all I'm in.
But I'm
That's
worried
what-
that this whole Millie Bobby Brown shit is just going to take up most of the film, and it's going to be the same case for like the last 20, 30 minutes.
See,
it's going to be
I'm
all the
hoping.
shit.
Yeah, I think you're kind of half right. I think they've learned their lesson though. I think there's going to
I
be.
don't know.
I think there's going to be Godzilla fighting maybe Rodan, and then the third act is him fighting Mothra and
No,
Gamora.
Mothra's always an ally of Godzilla.
Oh, is it?
Always
Friend,
Yeah, Mothra's always a protector.
Titan
okay.
friend.
Like she sort of lives in her little island with her little psychic fairies.
See, I didn't know this.
You know, she's got these little pals and they're like that size. You know, like a couple
Okay,
inches
so it's
high.
going to be Godzilla versus Rodan, because Gamora is the big one, right? Or is Rodan the big one? Which
No.
one's the more popular?
What do you mean more popular? I mean, they're all popular. It's
Yeah,
like
but
Which
who's-
trailer said Rodan was like the king of them all?
Right.
King
Okay.
of the monsters,
so then
basically.
it's Godzilla versus Gamora in the beginning.
Ghidorah.
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 Gamora.
King,
Godzilla versus the Avengers.
ultimate crossover. Disney bought everyone.
Yeah, Godzilla versus Ghidorah, and then second act, Ghidorah and Rodan team up or something, and then it's going to be Godzilla and Mothra versus.
I think it's going to be more like a, Godzilla and Rodan throw down, but then they realize that Ghidorah is like the bigger threat because Ghidorah like is painted out in history as Godzilla's nemesis.
Right,
He's like the big bad. You
So it's
know?
like how you're my nemesis, Gary.
Exactly.
Fuck you.
And I'm Mothra running about spraying my silk everywhere. You know, that's what I do.
Audiobook can be Millie Bobby Brown. Because you are in love with
I was
that.
going to make him one of the other four monsters that there are, and you gave him Billy Bobby Brown.
But you're like this big, gigantic monster, and he's just your
I'm
wee...
too innocent to be a monster.
Yeah, he's like your wee sidekick pal who's just
You can be my Millie
doesn't
Bobby
want you
Brown.
to get hurt, and I'm just here to hurt you.
Cool. Okay. Thanks.
You're welcome.
Fuck you again. All right. So I think you're right. I think they've learned the lesson. There's definitely going to be more. I think there's definitely going to be more monster brawling, which is what we all want.
Yeah.
And that's because Kong did well, or
And plus, Kong
the
gave us
best
some
bit
good
of it.
monster brawling as well.
loads
Absolutely.
of monster. And it's going to be, I hope, lots of, far out shots. So
Well,
they're not going to follow Michael Bay's Transformer issue of
the interesting thing
look how
about
close we can get the camera.
Oh, what's going on? What's going on? Don't care.
who's directing this is Michael Dougherty, who's a horror movie director. So he did like
Okay.
Trick or Treat movies, and he did Krampus, and those are his like two.
What was the second one there? Sorry.
Krampus,
Oh, cool. Trick or Treats are good.
and then Krampus was fucking a solid horror movie.
Yeah.
But now it's interesting that he's doing a massive scaled
Monster film. Like
monster battle film, where it's like so he's gone from like houses and small shots and claustrophobia to now the scale
City.
of the entire world. So I'm
Could-
interested to see
could-
how that's going to
Could that
translate.
be like? Could that be detrimental to it though? Like,
I don't know, because I mean, if you look at like a James Wan goes from doing horror movies to then he did Aquaman, which for how shit that movie is in every single way,
yeah.
the spectacle of it was joyous. So maybe Michael Dougherty's just got that kind of visual
You
vision
know,
that you can.
I was thinking of a similar example, like the director of Chronicle. I can't for the life of me remember his name.
You
You know,
went on-
he goes from making 10, $20 million films, which is a small budget.
Wasn't Max Landis, was it?
no, he was the
It
writer.
wasn't. And then he goes straight into the fan stick and just goes off the rails. Yeah. So much so that the studio was like, no, mate,
Nah.
none of
Nah,
that.
son.
And watching that film, like
Josh
you're-
Trank.
Josh Trank.
So
Poor-
he
poor
did
guy.
he did Chronicles.
He
Did Chronicles,
and
and
then
then
Fantastic
went to do
Four
what?
and then he
with
did straight fan stick straight after it.
Oh god, that film. Yeah, okay.
It started off fine.
It was that film did. I've
It
had this
started off
conversation
fine
so many
because
times.
that was his film.
Yeah.
Then the 6 months or 1 year later thing came in, and that was a studio's film.
Hmm.
And they tacked them on together, and they did the Beam in the Sky, and it tanked, and no one cares about it.
Yeah.
And boohoo.
I've had that. I remember coming out of that film and saying to my mate, "It's weird. It's a good first 40 minutes of a film, and then it just goes to shit."
Josh Trank was trying to make a David Cronenberg-esque Fantastic Four film with
A body horror,
with
yeah.
body horror kind of stuff.
Yep.
And then the studio just went, "No, we want fun and explosions and
Yeah.
blue beam light shooting into the sky." And
Yep.
Oh man.
I can't.
And melted bin bag doom.
And melted bin back down
Oh my
because
God.
it just looks. Poor Toby Kebbell. He's a great actor, and he just
He's
keeps
been a
getting
great-
shit
the-
roles.
The
he
bit
played a
of
great wee bit, and the beginning of the film, everyone
Yeah.
was competent, and it could have been a great film.
Yeah.
It could have been a fine film. It's a Fox.
Yeah, you take what you get.
Yeah.
Because I mean, the new Terminator Dark Fate trailer just says it all when it comes to a Fox film.
the bit that haunts me from that fan four stick.
It's like how I
So,
said
and
Desolation
just for anyone at home
Smegma.
that's wondering why we're calling it that, all the marketing and the way the film is out there is fan, and then they changed an A to the number 4, and then
Fant, and then the A
Fant,
is
and then the A is a 4, and then stick. Spelling fantastic, but then because it was so shit and the internet loves to rip into things it hates, it's now known as Fant 4 stick.
It also distinguishes it from the
And it
first,
does.
from the other 3 Fantastic Four films.
So yeah, and
Yeah.
The bit that haunts me is when Reed Richards goes to Brazil, I want to say, and they go and find him for the first time. And
Yeah.
he turns around and he's stretched his face into an old man's like long face, and he stretches it back into. Oh man, that scene is horrible. Like, it's just
The thing I just love is 2 actors who have played Johnny Storm went on to have incredibly big roles in the MCU.
yeah, that's true. Actually,
Chris Evans went on to be Captain
Cap.
America, and
Cap.
Michael B. Jordan went on to be Killmonger.
It did.
man.
That was
There's
a
an
fantastic
achievement
part. That was a
in-
fantastic role, though.
Yeah,
Lego Marvel, I want to say just the first one, where if you team up the the Human Torch with Captain America, you get an achievement that says, "Do I know you?"
2 Chris's.
2 Chris's. I just liked it.
I'm just still upset that in Avengers Endgame they didn't bring the Fantastic Four in and have Chris Evans play Johnny Storm.
Would've
And
been
he was
great.
like, "Hey, you're handsome."
"Hey, that
Well,
is
it-
America's,
There's America's
ass."
butt right
That is
there.
America's ass. I was just annoyed they didn't bring Quickslav back. Aaron Taylor Johnson again. God, that was actually one part I enjoyed him in. Like, I'm generally not a fan of his at all.
I mean, he's good in Nocturnal Animals, and that's about. I guess Kick-Ass, the first one, he's all right in.
Yeah.
That film, I'm kind of decisive.
But
Once Nicolas Cage dies, I'm just like, I don't want to watch this anymore.
I mean,
It loses all its soul.
That scene was heartbreaking as well.
It was just that guy brings me to tears.
Who? Nick Cage?
Nick Cage, man.
Like,
he's
good tears or bad tears?
good tears.
Okay.
That man is a god of acting. I don't care what anyone
God
says.
of acting.
That man takes dirt and transmutes it into the ambrosia of the gods.
That's a bold fucking statement right there.
I would defend it to the death, sir.
I think
Nicolas Cage is one of this generation's greatest actors.
So
I think Community says it best when that whole episode dedicated to the single joke of, is Nicolas Cage a good actor or a bad actor? And Abed losing his rag trying to figure it out.
He's a fantastic actor. He just picks god awful films to pay the bills.
But then sometimes he's in good films and he's a bad actor. Nobody knows.
no, he's in good films. But he just does what he wants. Like you know,
he goes full Cage.
he
I think-
does.
you know what I
want to
think
dress
it
up as
is?
a bear and punch a chick? Cool, that's fine with us.
Not the bees. Not the bees.
I think what it is they you don't actually hire Nicolas Cage. What you do is you buy him a plane ticket, you send it to him, right? You get the plane, and then you a taxi at the airport. You taxi him to the set, and then you just let him loose.
You've
ro-
already
roll the
started your film.
cameras.
You know,
Yeah.
production's already started.
Yeah, exactly. You're just rolling cameras. You get Nicolas Cage in. He's just being Nicolas Cage, and
Yeah.
you take what you get. Yeah,
Exactly.
So what it's like is in the beginning of Jurassic Park when they're introducing the Velociraptors, but like he gets out of the cage and he kills like one of the production assistants,
exactly.
and then he just like let him loose and give him a
That's
cow
it.
every so often to eat.
You know, just put a new jacket on
Put a
him.
new jacket on him and he just,
Just
runs
cigarettes.
around.
Okay, guys, so we're making the new Nicolas Cage film. I'm going to need you to sign these waivers. Well, what do they say? Well, it just means that if you die or get mauled by Nicolas Cage, that's on you.
Yeah, it's like,
any other accident or anything befall you like during production, you know, that's our fault.
That's ours, but
But you know, Nick gets free
this
reign
is a
on
Nick
everyone's
Cage
soul.
movie.
I just want a scene where the director's like, "Where's Nicolas Cage?" Like, we need to do this scene, and he just turns around and goes, "Clever girl," and then Nicolas Cage just like fucking just jumps on him, just ravages him.
And his leopard print jacket, wide-eyed.
So yeah, who knows? Nick Cage.
And then in the third movie, Sam Neill communicates with Nick Cage, the first person to ever communicate with him.
Like a Bond.
I think you were just making Jurassic Park films, but replacing raptors with Nick Cage.
Yeah,
That's
let's do it. So why not?
That's a moneymaker right
Fucking
there.
falling in
Jurassic World. Chris Pratt.
Chris
He can-
Pratt just fucking
He's
gives
training Nick Cage.
training 3 Nick Cages as how to fucking be military weapons.
You know, there's the adage in Hollywood that you never work with children on Nick Cage.
I have heard that.
True, that's a great point.
All right, so I
What
think
if Nick Cage was in the Godzilla King of Monsters and we just didn't know?
Oh man, the fifth monster. He rises
He's
up
just
from
inside one of the
ashes.
suits, but they didn't tell anyone.
Yeah, he did all like the suit
He's
work.
got boots in the background out of the place, snaps Ghidorah in half. Just takes a piss on New York, you know.
Just screams at Millie Bobby Brown for 20 minutes.
Excuse me, Nick Cage. You kind of shh, let him go, son. It's
Let
too
him do
late.
his thing.
Just watch him ride off into the sunset.
Just
Can't be
flies
tamed,
into the
man.
sun.
Can't be tamed.
God of acting.
Right. What's the next segment? Like, what's the next segment?
The history of Godzilla.
The history of Godzilla.
All right.
Let's do a history of Nick Cage. Fuck the Godzilla episode.
Yes, please.
We just brought you here to actually talk about Nick Cage. We're not about to write a Godzilla episode at all.
If it wasn't apparent by now, I do fucking love Nick Cage. I'm not even being ironic.
And I love Nickelback, so there we go.
Oh no, you brought
What
it
Nick
down.
thing do you love, guys?
Nick Cruel.
Oh, good one.
You stole my Nick.
Nick, I'll take Nick Nolte then.
There you go. I
And
like
your
Nick Kroll.
There we go. We all have a Nick thing. I got the worst one though, I think.
Yeah, why did you?
I went too soon. I don't know. It was the only thing that popped into my head.
Fucking Nick Nolte.
I love.
Man, I'll hear you for no reason.
Oh god, Nicholas Sturgeon was my next one. That's not
Oh,
good either.
bad.
How about knickknacks? The little crisps.
They make my mouth hurt.
Plus,
I put too many in
You
there.
can't. Are you allowed to eat them? Are they vegan?
Maybe.
Wait, Twiglets.
Nicholas
can-
Holt.
Oh, I love. No, I can have Nicholas Holt. You can have Nick Nolte. I want
No, I
Nicholas
don't
Holt.
want Nick Holt. Nolly.
No one
I'm
wants
having
Nicholas
Nicholas
Holt.
Holt.
Nicholas Nickleby.
Nick. I just love nickel, the metal. There
Oh,
you go.
there we go.
There we go. Get rid of the back. I'm back in, guys.
The alloy.
Right. So the history of Godzilla. So I think what would be interesting is if we do a very brief history of what we actually know about Godzilla.
Okay.
Yours is going to be better than mine.
Can I go first?
Yeah, go on, dear boy.
Absolutely nothing.
There we go.
Have you seen any Godzilla movie ever?
No. The one film that I know of is the King Kong one.
Kong Skull Island.
Yeah. And what point is that going to become
Well,
part of
after
all of this?
Godzilla King of Monsters, they're doing Godzilla vs. Kong.
Versus King Kong.
which is Godzilla 3. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
So-
they're building a universe.
Yeah, they're making a
properly.
universe.
They're not doing it like Universal did.
No.
You know, or DC.
There's going to be a scene in which like Godzilla's got King Kong pinned to the floor, and he's like, "Save Martha," and he's like, "Wait, what? What? How do you know that name?"
No, and
The
the
atomic breath is like just about to
was-
fire.
it was the after credits for Kong was where they brought. Was it?
It was
Tom
the
Hiddleston's
cave.
character.
It was the cave drawings.
The cave drawings
Yeah.
of all the
Yeah.
the kaiju that are going to be in this film. So you know they're bringing the height. There's the Mothra. The
Well, that
Rodan,
and the after
Ghidorah.
credits for this next Godzilla is definitely going to be.
Something about Kong.
It's going to be something Kong related,
Definitely.
100%.
He's going to defeat them all. And he's like, Godzilla did it. He's the great. And then it's going to like smash cut to an island and Kong's eyes open. And then
I think it's
boom.
going to be more like Tom Hiddleston sitting in a bar and then Robert Downey Jr. walks in and he's like, shit, wrong franchise.
I'm looking for a general. He just fought about Green Monster. You seen him anyway? No. Okay, cool. Bye.
I see. I was thinking, you're right.
Hulk
Smash cut
out.
to the island, but like really far out from the island, because for King
can't see
Kong
the
to be
island,
so
though.
big.
You can't see the island though. That's the whole point.
Oh, 'cause it's
Skull Island.
foggy in
Yeah,
there.
but no, it's
Yeah.
not foggy. It's like a
Was that
huge, massive storm encasing it.
Foggy, roughly fog.
It's
Roughly
roughly fog.
fog.
It's
Roughly
slight
fog.
participation.
Basically the same
Precipitation.
as fog. Fog,
Precipitation.
angry fog. That's what a
Angry
storm is, isn't it?
Pissed off. It's a bad storm, and that's why no one.
Well,
goes
all right.
to
You
it.
know what? It still works with the storm. So what it is like?
John
really,
Carpenter's The Fog.
island is like
Yes.
here, right? Here's me blocking out the scene. Here's the island.
Okay, this is great
And
for an
then-
audio podcast.
No, right. So the island is tiny. You're right.
Okay.
Sorry. The island is tiny in the middle of the screen.
Just picture this in your mind's eye.
Picture this in your mind's
audience.
eye, and then the rest of the screen fills up. It's the ocean. There's not much going on. The storm, and then at the top of the storm, that's how big Kong is. He goes, "Brah!" and you just see him like a silhouette, like angry pose.
Flexing.
It's like
Yeah,
the ending
flexing to the sky.
of Cloverfield 3, Cloverfield Paradox,
Right. Oh yeah.
where all of a sudden he appears out of the clouds.
Yeah,
And
pretty
then-
much.
And then the final shot is just a reaction shot from Millie Bobby Brown because she just reacts to things.
That's it.
God, sir.
So yeah, so I think history of Godzilla. What I know about the Godzilla history, I have seen. I think I've seen the original Godzilla because I'm sure you made me watch it when I was like 10 or 11.
Something like
It was awesome.
God, you've known Gary for a really long time. How have you made it this far?
that. Dribs and drabs.
I thought you were just going to say hardcore drugs. Just like,
Limited
Well, no,
exposure.
I'm too old for that anymore.
So yeah, I've
Yeah.
seen the original Godzilla.
Yeah.
Then I've seen Godzilla versus King Kong, the original, and then I've seen little bits and bobs of Godzilla trouncing monsters throughout the years, courtesy of you. Especially the later ones where they went, we need to make this more interesting, and they made Godzilla do ridiculous shit like slide about on his tail and do the
The drop kick
The
where he just
drop
sort of lifts
kick.
his leg and flies forward.
stuff like that. So I've seen little bits of that. Then Godzilla 1999,
7, I think.
7.
98.
And then the
There you go,
two
that's
latest ones, and including the anime Godzilla films on Netflix, which are
Did you ever watch the cartoon that was on?
The Godzilla
Like,
series.
holy shit!
That's in the same universe
I had
as,
completely forgotten
yeah.
about
I
that.
fucking loved that cartoon.
But yeah,
That comes off the 98 film. That's,
yeah.
that's the
That was
only-
the directly afterwards, wasn't
Mhm,
it?
it
It was
was.
like the real Ghostbusters to
Yep,
the Godzilla film,
it was.
the real adventures of the Ghostbusters. The
And there were
real
like two Godzillas, and one had like metal stuff on him, and he was controlled by people.
Mecha Godzilla.
But it was like a not proper Mecha Godzilla.
One of the
There are
proper
a
ones.
couple of different Godzilla, Mecha Godzillas, anyways.
So yeah, so that's my history, and as far as I know, Godzilla is a radiated lizard,
Mhm.
and then everything else got radiated, and that's why they're all big, and that's why Godzilla. And Godzilla's the kind of protector, but also he's not, but he is,
But he's not.
but he's not, but he is.
But is
he's
he though?
not.
Is he though?
But is it exactly? So that's kind of everything I know about Godzilla. I watched Godzilla versus King Kong specifically because that sounded awesome, and
And then you got to see
that
the,
film's so fucking stupid.
the joyous event of Godzilla deep throating a tree.
So there's
Yeah, King
there's-
Kong just picks up his giant like fur, just starts ramming it down Godzilla's throat.
There's so much that's stupid in that. If I remember this correctly, and you're probably going to tell me I'm remembering this completely wrong, but if I remember correctly, to scale up King Kong to Godzilla, he punches a cloud. Does he not punch a cloud and get electrocuted?
Something.
He like if I-
Can't punch a cloud.
no, exactly.
I mean,
but he
Don't
does.
tell King Kong that.
in Ang Lee's Hulk, Nick Nolte turned into a cloud.
He did.
So yeah, he
He's
like
the
punches
absorbing
a
man,
cloud.
but no one told us that.
Exactly.
Like, yeah.
He gets electrocuted. He grows, and that's how they scale up King Kong to fight Godzilla. King Kong's basically got electric power, where Godzilla has fire breath, basically. And then they don't. Neither one of them wins. But King Kong swings Godzilla into the ocean, and then Godzilla's like, fuck this, and flips him off as he
I'm gonna go home and eat
stomps
sushi.
back. Yeah, pretty much. That's pretty much it.
I'm just gonna eat a burger.
It's amazing.
It usually ends up someone in the ocean, you know.
That's what just Godzilla does.
Yeah, they don't want to kill everyone off just in case, you know, they need a space to fill, but it usually ends up someone falls into the ocean.
Plus,
That's
they want to get their characters wet, like Sigourney Weaver in Alien 4.
That's it.
Moist,
Sweat Weaver.
moist monster film.
Yes. That's why Godzilla always comes out of the ocean. He just, you know, chapped
And
lips.
it's like I always felt when I was watching
Thinks he's on Baywatch.
James Bond Die Another Day that when Halle Berry came out of the ocean, I was like, this makes me think of Godzilla.
It's the tiny arms.
Yes, it's the arms, yes.
And the gigantic legs.
Yeah.
And the tail and the atomic. Oh,
And then
wait, no, Halle Berry is Godzilla,
my
guys.
God.
There you go.
Good
I don't know
thing
why I
he's-
didn't go for Daniel Craig and Casino Royale, but I went for Halle Berry in Die Another Day. So there you go.
It's the exact same scene, though.
It is.
It is the exact same.
And Daniel Craig has a dick the size of Godzilla. So there you go.
I wouldn't know. I've never actually watched any of the modern.
Sorry, I thought you were gonna be like, I did not know that.
I
I've
did
never
not
actually,
know that.
I've never actually seen it in
Please,
real life.
please.
I can
No,
see that.
I've never watched any of the modern James Bond films.
They're good.
Yeah, Casino Royale and Skyfall is a fucking
You know, honestly-
masterpiece of cinema.
Honestly, I'm fine.
They're,
think you
they're
are.
not as good as the Pierce Brosnan movies.
They're far superior to the Pierce
they are
Brosnan
good.
movies.
See, the last one I probably watched was Die Another Day.
Great one.
No,
was that
awful. One of the worst, actually.
Was that the second?
That's the
Brosnan one?
last Pierce Brosnan one. Where
What
he's,
was the second one?
that was Tomorrow Never Dies.
That was the last one I watched, and then I kind of gave up on James Bond like altogether. I watched anything
mean-
before that.
It's fair because Pierce Brosnan made a lot of people give up on James Bond, but then Daniel Craig
Not
brought
me.
everyone back.
Goldeneye was good though. Goldeneye was
Goldeneye
good.
is solid.
It was
Solid fucking
bloody
movie
good.
because it's the same guy who wrote that did Casino Royale.
fair enough.
So there you go. So you should check out Casino
It's
Royale.
I remember
I'll
watching
probably
the Pierce Brosnan James Bond films, but I remember so little about them that you have just named 3 different ones.
you
And
can
although I
remember
know
like
that there are
5
more
minutes
than one, I'm
mean, if-
in my memory banks. I'm pretty sure I have one James Bond film.
I mean, much like Floyd is our Godzilla expert and can break those down for you, I can do James Bond for you because
I can do James Bond as well.
Yeah, but apparently you can just do one consecutive James Bond thing.
Yeah, it's one James Bond Pierce Brosnan movie. That's all that
To
exists.
be fair, they are all pretty much the same movie.
They run into each other like
The
pretty
world, is,
consecutively.
the world is not enough is the most different of them, but it's also not good.
So how many Pierce Brosnan films
So
are
you
there?
did, you did
3.
GoldenEye,
42.
You did GoldenEye, Tomorrow Never Dies, The World Is Not Enough, and Die Another Day.
Jeez. I
1,
didn't know
2,
there was
3,
of them.
4.
Yep.
And John Cleese was in all 4 of them.
He was in Die Another Day because the original actor
I
who
remember
played
that
him,
one.
he was in World Is Not Enough and then died a year after that film came out. And then they got John Cleese in, and everyone's like, "Well, this was an awful idea." And then they brought in what's his name who voices Paddington,
Colin Firth.
Ben Whishaw.
Ben Whishaw. They brought in Ben Whishaw now as Q.
Wait, I thought Colin Firth. Colin Firth's in Paddington.
No, he's in Kingsman.
Oh man, I'm getting confused.
You
No,
mean
wait.
Hugh Grant.
Hugh Grant is in. No, wait.
Wait.
Who's in Paddington? Who's the dad in Paddington?
Well, that's the guy from
Hugh Bonneville.
Yeah, Hugh Bonneville.
Yeah.
No, is that his real name?
Yeah, it's Hugh
Yeah, it's his
Bonneville.
real name. I'm thinking Downton Abbey.
Hugh Bonneville.
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 Bonerville. Also,
Hey, it's rare for me to make the childish joke, but there you go, ladies and gentlemen.
Rare,
speaking of
I'm
Hugh
sure.
Bonneville, here's something our audience will love to hear about. The new trailer for Downton Abbey came out. I've never watched an episode of Downton Abbey, but I watched the trailer for the movie. Nothing happens in that movie.
Wait, there's a film?
There's a film
Yeah, they're
coming
making
out,
a film.
and it's fake conflict in that movie where it's like the king and queen are coming to stay. Oh my god! And then like their butler shows up and he makes all the other butlers not do stuff and they're upset. And I'm like,
Someone's not polished the silver.
and he's like, this needs to be really clean. And I'm like, this isn't anything. This is just people upset that things aren't clean enough. It's like,
Nothing about class separation. No,
That sounds like
so strife.
my mum when we have guests around, you know? Right, the whole house has got to get hoovered.
because you know that when guests come over, the first thing they look at is like
The floors.
Is the carpet
Everyone
been hoovered?
change the beds, make sure they're all made. They're not coming into my room. Make sure your room's clean.
No one's sleeping in the beds.
Probably pass out on the floor. Like they always
Make sure
do.
the grass is cut. It's winter. It's covered in snow. Why?
Have we bleached all of the toilets?
Yes.
That sounds like, there you go. Downton Abbey, the movie.
Yeah.
is my mum.
is
Is all of our mums?
is dinner
probably.
is dinner at your house? Well, we should do Downton Abbey at Gary's house.
We should.
It's like you invite us over and your mum goes into panic mode and we show up all snobbish. You go, carpet's looking a bit rough.
Jenny, did
shabby.
you not have time to get the house in order?
I see the curtains. You still have the ones from previous year.
Is that the same curtain from last year? Oh God.
Oh, how embarrassing.
I take umbrage with this drinking glass.
Like rich people change their curtains once a year. Is that what you think they do, Gavin?
I don't fucking know.
They pay someone else to do
to
it.
dinner party at a fancy house.
Oh man.
They pay some Swedish designer. Like
Oh, right. So Godzilla.
that guy.
History.
Who?
History of Godzilla. So that's my understanding of Godzilla. Gavin, what do you know? What do you know about Godzilla?
So my understanding of Godzilla, I mean, I've more or less seen all the similar to you of like all the films, like seen some of the originals.
Yep.
I've seen King Kong versus Godzilla. I've seen all the new ones. Blah blah. I used to watch a lot as a kid. Animated stuff. Had the toys. I was obsessed.
Yeah.
But my understanding of Godzilla from like where it came from was all a reaction to the nuclear bombings of Japan, and so the original Godzilla is kind of this kind of tragic tale.
He's a metaphor.
It's a
isn't he?
metaphor
Yeah.
for the fear
Yeah, the fear.
that the Japanese people feel like from. I mean, it wasn't even a decade after,
Yeah.
Nagasaki and Hiroshima, that they brought out this this film of this giant irradiated monster, coming to get you,
And just destroying everything, and when you kind of look at it from that, because of course when I was a kid and I was watching it, I just watched a big monster destroy.
smashing
Yeah.
stuff
But then
up.
when I learned that and I went back and watched it, that movie's a lot more kind of harrowing and
It
kind
is.
of
It's very dark.
distressing when you think about it from that mindset.
Yeah.
And then I also know that it was almost impossible to get that film originally released into America, because America were just, one, they were obviously anti-Japanese
Yes.
still at that time, and they were just like, we're not big on releasing a film that's just all Japanese cast. There's no Americans in it, and it's a kind of
No
taking a jab at
American
us.
wants to see it. That's the
Yeah.
thing. But they were wrong. Like, I can't remember the year it was released. It was renamed in America as Godzilla King of the Monsters.
Right. Okay.
That was the first,
So that's the original.
the original 54 Godzilla.
Because this is where I haven't seen these, but if I remember correctly, there was the Godzilla King of the Monster, and then they skipped a bunch, didn't they, in America, and then they jumped to
Well, wasn't it for the one of the
Another
like
one.
maybe the first one or one of the originals? They reshot, or in America they just shot a bunch of extra scenes and put it in of just this American white guy. So they in a theatrical release. that
I've
never
heard
ended.
about that.
Yeah, they did a lot of like post whitening.
Yeah,
Not what do you call
Wasn't one,
localization.
they were putting in scenes of an American journalist or detective
yeah.
who was in Japan at the time, and he's investigating it.
And
so
it's,
that
he plays
Americans
the
had
Millie
a-
Bobby Brown of just it's a bunch of
But
reaction shots.
later on, a lot of the Japanese film did feature white actors, but
Yeah.
9 times out of 10 they'd be like from the future or an alien or both. Future aliens,
or both. Yeah.
or both, yeah. We're aliens from the future. Cool.
Cool. Great.
We doing here? You doing anything bad? No, we want to help you.
Here, I know you have a disdain for Doctor Who,
I
but
don't. I like Doctor.
You like
Well,
Doctor Who?
I don't like the Matt Smith Doctor Who because Stephen Moffat is a terrible human being. And
I
an
just
awful writer.
caught
I
up
thought he
to
looked like a skeleton.
odd looking fella.
He was in Genesis for like
Yeah,
5
he's
seconds.
genetized because they were going to try and build a universe around him, and it did not happen.
Did not happen.
Very
I just
boring,
caught
man.
up with Capaldi, so I'm now at the episode where he switches to Jodie Foster.
Jodie Whittaker.
Oh shit! Sorry, Jodie.
Jodie Foster was a
Jodie
contact.
Foster. Jodie.
Other stuff.
Peter Capaldi does turn into Jodie Foster in real life. That's what I'm talking about.
I mean, you just met Peter Capaldi a few days
I
ago.
did. It was amazing. Hey Peter, if you're listening, like I asked you to, and then followed you around for an hour.
I love how you told him about your quiz, but not our podcast.
Do you want to be on sometime?
Oh come on! Like Peter Capaldi's going to listen to this nonsense.
If he's in Glasgow, he's like, "Do you want to come on our movie podcast, talk about movies?" The guy would probably be fucking up for it.
I'll tweet him. Yeah, actually, no, I checked.
He gets a 6-pack of tenants in, he'll fucking be in for it.
Have a great one. But yeah, I caught up. But sorry, it was on the Future Aliens thing that just popped into my head. That episode with the really long ship that's sucked, that's at a black hole. So the top of the ship is moving slower than the further away from the black hole you get. Is it ringing a bell?
Just time
Is
dilation.
this
Time dilation.
is this one of Peter Capaldi's ones?
Yeah.
I'd stopped before.
Oh,
then,
okay, cool.
'cause
Sorry.
Stephen
So
Moffat-
in the Peter Capaldi's, there's an episode where there's a black hole. There's a really long colony ship which has got multiple floors of farms and stuff because it was designed to be lived in for millennia. But the chunk of the ship that's near the black hole and then the chunk of the ship that's furthest away from the black hole got time dilation. So yeah, there's future aliens, but they're not future aliens. It's just they're
One part's aging slower and one part's aging
yeah,
faster.
and I think they send up like 20 of their crew members to an upper deck, and then the whole ship fills out with life forms, and the guy's going, "Where do they all come from? What is that?"
And that was
But
just a natural.
it's just
evolution
natural.
of
It's just,
it,
yeah, it's just they've been banging, and having kids.
Yeah.
This is really cool. That's a
Sounds
really
like a
cool
cool
idea.
episode.
Hmm?
That sounds like a cool episode.
It really was actually. I thoroughly enjoyed. You should catch up. We could talk
That's
about
not going to happen. I just can't stand Stephen Moffat and his writing. I don't want to support anything he does.
it. Okay, cool. Sorry,
I
anyway.
watched the Jodie Whittaker one because he's not involved in that. But I don't know.
I don't know, man.
Yeah, and then so Godzilla, yeah, that's my main understanding. And then my other thing was, yeah, my favorite thing with Godzilla now is when Hollywood releases a new Godzilla film, and then Japan's just reaction of just like, look at these Americans and their Godzilla.
These gaijin.
Because
Look at them.
when they released the image or the trailer for the most recent or the 2014 Godzilla film, Japan were just like laughing of just like, why did Godzilla get fat? Is he just been eating burgers this entire
Chunkzilla,
time?
you know.
And it's like I love that stuff.
Chunguszilla.
Fatzilla.
But beyond that, that's my kind of
King of the
breadth of
thick, you know.
Godzilla knowledge.
So yeah, so come on, Floyd, hit us with as much.
I mean,
As much. There's so much, though. So much.
Well, we'll interject
Right.
with anything that maybe not all of it, but give us
No,
the
well, I'll give you the sort of lowdown.
give us the load. Give us
You know,
your presentation. I told you
Because
to,
there's so
make
much
up.
that they've had to split it up into different sort of sections.
Yeah.
You've got your original
Yeah,
run.
'cause you did say 4 timelines
The four
really early
main
on.
timelines, they're sort of little bits and pieces splintering off here and there. 4 main timelines, I'd say, your original first Godzilla, 1954, is a nexus of all Godzilla films. For the Japanese ones, anyway. Everything stems from there. You've got that one, and then you've got your what they call the Showa era, which is dynasty in Japan. They call their eras by their emperor at the time. So we've got the Showa era.
Cool.
That runs from the original Godzilla to Godzilla 1984. It was released, and that was the first film in the Heisei era, which is sort of a reboot. They put out maybe 15 films
Right.
in that sort of space.
So here's a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
How have they managed to make so many films of Godzilla just fighting monsters? Well, because surely not every film is just, hey, there's Godzilla. Oh, we're being attacked by another monster. They fight for an hour and a half.
I mean, we just had westerns where it was just cowboys versus Indians for millennia.
I
It
suppose,
was,
yeah.
but then
And they were boring as
but
shit.
Japan,
They
they
were
had a giant meteor comes and oh my god, it's a monster and it kicks something in, and then Godzilla's like, that's mine, by the way.
Yeah.
Puts him in the head. Then he goes on a rampage. I'm like, fuck
Okay.
you guys.
No,
yeah.
it's with that Western analogy that makes perfect sense to me now. You're right, because back in the day, it kind of
That's what I'm here for.
it didn't matter if you were churning out the same film
That's it.
ad infinitum. It was just people liked it. So
I mean, people used
doing
to
it.
go to the cinema and just watch a 14-minute movie of a train going along because
Because they were
people were
gobsmacked
simple.
by moving pictures.
Yeah,
You know?
people were simple, Gary. Now we've got the fucking massive spectacle
Yeah,
of
of
Avengers
cinema.
and Godzilla and
Yeah.
So after 1984,
Tolkien.
Yeah, 1984, or it's called 1985 in America because that's they get it a bit later. They released their next era, their Heisei era, which is a direct sequel from the very original Godzilla. So they basically say, screw everything that came after the first one.
They kind of do a Terminator style.
They did.
they did a
absolutely
Halloween
did.
before Halloween did it.
together.
Whoa!
Where the one in 1984 was a direct sequel to the one in 1954.
Cool.
So that runs till around, early 90s, long before the American travesty, which itself is its own timeline.
And at this point, were they bringing in more kind of resounding storylines, or was it still pretty much?
They were trying. They
Cool.
were retconning a lot of the original stuff. They're giving you different origins for like a lot of the monsters. Like Ghidorah, he instead of just being a monster from space that was controlled by this race that were trying to look benevolent, but they ended up just wanting to wreck stuff and take over. He
okay.
came from the future.
That's I told you obviously at the beginning. Well, I think off mic. I just watched the 3 anime
anime
Godzillas
ones,
that are on Netflix at the moment, and that's exactly what happens in that. So it's cool that they've kept that.
Yeah, they
One Piece
They try
the
and
same.
retcon like the whole thing by saying they travel back to the creature that becomes Godzilla, and they took it out of time. The Godzillasaurus before, the Godzillasaurus before it was irradiated and becomes Godzilla. They took it out of time and replaced it with these tiny little bat cat looking things that get mutated and turn into Ghidorah, the 3-headed monster.
Yeah.
And then Godzilla fights him and wrecks him.
As
And then-
Godzilla is wont to
Yes.
do.
He likes to slap a bitch.
It does. Ghidorah gets wrecked, and then they take him to the future, and they repair him, and they send him back as Mecha.
Nice.
And he's
Nice.
got like one of his heads is now robot, and he's piloted by like a young woman,
And this is Mecha Ghidorah.
Mecha Ghidorah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
See, I feel more films could learn from this, and like you take Thor: The Dark World, for example,
Please
and they finally beat the dark elf character. Like, he's dead.
Christopher Eccleston.
And then in Thor: Ragnarok, he comes back, but he's Mecha Dark Wolf.
Oh,
Dark
that would
elf.
have been sick if they'd kept his burnt side.
Yeah.
And it was the good side that they mech it up as well.
Why don't more films just do this? Kill off their bad guy and then just bring him back as
Bring
a
him
mecha
back
bad
as
guy.
an
That's
Right.
actually now that we do it, that's a very Japanese thing because
It's
Dragon
very, very
Ball pulls that trick.
They do with Mecha
a
Freezer.
lot.
That was more of the movie timelines, though. I'd say.
Yeah. Well,
But,
actually, I know, but it's still just the fact that they did it.
yeah. No,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
a very Japanese thing.
Remember Frieza? Oh yeah, he really fucked us up. Well, now he's back, but mecha.
He's got robot bitch.
So after that, we went. So then we move into modern day. Godzilla.
Modern day, the Millennium series.
and so we're still talking about
Bobby
films that
Williams Millennium.
No. This is
would have been good.
well.
Millennium.
I'd say that before the Millennium series, obviously 1998, we got our interpretation of Godzilla, which is known as the TriStar era,
The turd Godzilla.
which is basically Godzilla the film and the cartoon.
Yeah.
And that's it. No one cares. The best thing to
I
come
care
out of
about that
that,
cartoon, but fuck that movie.
the best thing to come out of it was Jamiroquai soundtrack. That
God, yeah.
that
I'm
song.
going deeper underground.
I saw them play it live in Glasgow one time, and oh my god, it came on, and I wasn't expecting them to play it, and it just came on, and I was like, "This is my childhood."
Didn't
Puff Daddy as well.
yeah,
he had
he did a song, but I can't remember what the song he did.
"Come with Me,"
Come with. Yeah, that was it. That was a
and
decent song.
didn't it sample
Yeah, it sampled
Valkyrie
something.
song?
Yeah, it sampled something.
Yeah.
I liked it. The best part about the Joe
Come with
Schumacher
me.
movie,
Ba, ba, ba.
apart from Matthew Broderick's worm thing.
So yeah.
And
So,
Jean
we-
Reno.
Oh yeah.
so in Japan, we were still getting films that weren't getting released over here.
Running would be a good idea.
At the time, Toho had stopped making Godzilla films for a while.
Okay, cool. so there's no Godzilla when America brought out their
for a
third
while.
Godzilla.
And then I'd say the next year, that's when they started again.
Cool.
And it was. I don't think it was retaliation to America because the companies seem to get along with each other. They don't like
Yeah.
bicker about what's what. They're separate things. They have respect for each other.
Yeah.
Plus, Japan knows it's got it locked down. So
Absolutely.
It's
Doesn't matter what
serious.
America does. Japan comes back and goes, "Not me."
when they did that the 2014 one, the Gareth Edwards, I was like, yeah, it's alright. And then they're like, hey, that was nice to be shot America.
Hey guys, you want to see this little Godzilla film we're making here? This masterpiece.
Oh, it's so good. The music for that.
Which
film,
one's this?
Shin Godzilla.
Shin Godzilla.
Godzilla Resurgence.
The music
Terrible.
in that movie.
Good. Worth a watch.
The film?
Shin Godzilla.
Oh, it's fantastic.
Yeah.
It's
And if you don't watch it, just listen to the fucking soundtrack,
Yeah.
the score for that movie.
or just put it on a TV in a different room. And just listen to the sound
Put it
coming
on.
from that
Put it
room.
on somewhere.
No, it's fantastic because
Oh.
they deal like Godzilla very differently in that film. He starts off as like a sort of sea sort of blob creature, and then throughout it he evolves through different stages, and his powers come to him.
And it just looks so good.
Oh, it was the
What is it? Is
scene.
it live action?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, this is the most recent live action Godzilla film.
Oh,
they've
okay.
made.
Cool.
And it came out 2015,
15 or 16.
15 or 16. It wasn't long after Gareth Edwards one.
Right. Okay.
And the scene where he was where he's fire breath for the first time,
yeah.
it starts off and it comes out as a flame, and he's just bellowing the smoke out, and it's filling streets, and they've got this huge miniature like cityscape.
Yeah, the great like practical effects.
Yeah,
in
the
that
practical
film.
effects are stunning. And the Japanese still use practical effects perfectly.
Yeah,
Along with CGI now, to enhance it rather than
Great blend.
yeah. So he's here, he's bellowing out the smoke, and then it turns, he hits the right spot, and the fire just fills the streets, and then he just starts condensing in it, and it just sort of, focuses it to a laser point, and that's when the actual atomic breath comes. And then for some reason they decide, let's just fire out his back as well. Let's just have him, he's like "Doo," everywhere, and then like at the back.
So who's he fighting in Shin Godzilla?
The Americans. No, he's old school.
Wait, what?
Technically, no, he's the old school Godzilla. He comes and he's just sort of wrecking shit.
In America?
No, in Japan.
In Japan.
America try and take a stand. They were like, if you don't deal with this right now,
Yeah.
we're going to nuke you.
They went full Trump.
They did.
Oh, okay.
They were like, if you do not deal with this problem in your own country, we're going to nuke it. And they tried, and they failed. Because by the time they got to him, he'd already evolved to like his sort of final form.
Yeah.
He was up on both legs.
He was now
and
Charizard at that point.
He was. It was mega
I need to see
Charizard.
this film. This sounds amazing.
You do.
Oh, yeah.
It's fantastic. It's not on Netflix, I don't think.
Oh, no, I'll find
You'll
it.
probably find it on Amazon or something.
Yeah,
rent it.
exactly.
Probably.
I'll rent that.
Or any of the other, non-legal forms of... I'm not condoning this
The
at all.
Meandering Movie Podcast does not condone illegally downloading or watching movies.
Nope, absolutely not. Archiving, on the other
You
hand.
wouldn't steal a car.
You wouldn't steal a television.
You wouldn't steal bear. You wouldn't download bear.
The only thing I don't understand about copyright law.
Oh, here we go.
No, wait. No, hear me out. So you're right. You wouldn't steal a car, wouldn't steal a film from a shop or anything like that. But if I buy a
But
film,
you did steal my heart.
if I buy a film, if
Oh,
I
you just-
bought Shin Godzilla on DVD,
Yes.
and then I was like, hey, watch this film, Floyd, there's nothing they can do against that.
Technically, they can.
Can they?
Yeah. It's in small print of most films. You're not allowed to lend, publicly show.
I knew public showings because that's
Kind of like how
lending-
when you've got
lending.
like a 4-pack of Iron Brew and it says you cannot sell these individually.
it's basically that.
Basically that.
But the fact you're reading this on the can and it's a single, and you're like,
Exactly.
hold on a minute.
What was that picture going about on Facebook of this is the West End of Glasgow summed up in one picture, and it was a 84p can of Iron Brew, and I paid £2.50 for that, and they gave it to me in a fucking tin can with a squeeze of lemon. Right, shall we? Unless there's anything else you want to talk about, Godzilla-wise,
Is there anything you want to hear?
Well, I don't know.
Well, here's a question. What would you say is your favourite and your least favourite Godzilla movie? And let's just take out Joe Schumacher because that's an easy one to say your
That's
least
too
favourite.
easy, isn't it? I'd say my favorite one would be Godzilla versus Megalon. It's sort of
Oh,
like a
I have a question after this. Carry on.
okay. Mainly because it features my favorite giant hero, is Jet Jaguar.
Jet Jaguar.
Jet Jaguar.
Wait, how many other giant things are there that are both good and bad?
A lot
I
of them
thought
are
there was
good.
only one good guy, Godzilla.
Godzilla isn't a good guy though. A lot of the time, Godzilla's just pissed off at the bigger threat.
He's like, hey, there's my fucking territory, bitch.
That's it.
Godzilla.
There's a lot of the monsters. Rodan, Mothra, a lot of them. I'm trying.
Mothra, a lot.
There's so
There's so many.
I'm trying.
Well, I mean-
I'm trying to think in this film coming up.
You've just named Jet Jaguar, who
Yes.
I'm super interested
Sounds like
in.
an 80s porn star.
He is, for all intent and purposes,
something
an
from
Ultraman
Thundercats.
ripoff.
I'm looking up Jet Jaguar right
Please do. He's got a terrifying face. He's like a small robot man, and he grows 50 foot tall, and he
now. He's amazing.
is. And he helps Godzilla fight both Megalon and Gigan, who is a giant cyborg with hook arms and a circular saw in his stomach.
Fucking
Who
beautiful.
I had a toy of him when I was wee. Yeah. And
And that's how you lost your entire left hand. Was that the bus stop?
that's
how.
it was super accurate. It's anatomically correct. It's like, shit.
So why? I mean, maybe this is a really dumb question
Hmm.
for people that are in the know. Are they ever going to do a Godzilla versus the Megazord from Power Rangers?
No,
Why?
because they're owned by different companies who don't get along.
But why do they not get along? Because that would be my childhood dream come
Well, why
true.
don't Disney just buy them out and then just have everyone cross over? Like, that'd be so simple.
That's the dream, right? Did you listen to the last episode of our podcast?
I haven't heard it yet. No.
Haven't yet? Cool. So you don't know that we are technically owned by Disney now. I think
We are not owned by Disney.
I think technically after the last
I
episode,
just found out
we're
that the
working.
Boat That Rocked is now on Netflix, so I'm going to watch that, study how they do it, and then I'm going to do pirate fucking podcasts, and when you two start sucking the cock of Disney.
I'm under the impression my left foot's owned by Disney.
Everyone's a little bit owned by Disney.
Yeah, you know, it's partially.
I mean,
and
my tracking implants definitely are.
They don't know what I am. I'm off the grid.
the mouse knows, man. The mouse doesn't forgive.
Oh, I'll fucking.
Although they kind of forgave James Gunn, but that's a whole different story.
They'll forgive it when the money's coming in.
That's it. It was like, oh, hey, DC are like, hey, guy, you want some money? And he's like, cool.
I'll take
I
some.
don't, I don't care. I'm not actually bothered about this. You know, James Gunn only made one decent Marvel film anyway. So I don't really...
Oh, what's controversial?
Whoa! Is there some sort of butt knucking press here? Yeah, Guardians 2 was shit.
Oh no,
I
it's
don't
better
care.
than the first one.
It is not.
I disagree
I
with
I
you
know
on
you
that.
disagree with me, so it's 2
I
on 1.
felt nothing when Yondu died, even though he was a fantastic character. I felt nothing.
I felt so much more in that film than I did in the first one because the first one just bored me by the end.
The first one I enjoyed because it was you know, we hadn't seen anything like that yet. It was quirky. It was fun. It was.
And if you'd like to hear more of our thoughts about the Marvel universe,
We should drop back into Marvel again.
we have
should,
got
absolutely.
3 whole episodes that you can listen to. Sorry to cut you off,
I
Floyd.
think me and Gary had a beautiful viewpoint there. You're both sitting on the same sofa and you were just facing each other and just having like eloquent point after eloquent point, and it's just like this is
great.
what the Godzilla movies are. Great.
Which one's Godzilla? Which one's Kong?
I'm hairier, so like
You be Kong.
I'll be Kong.
I'll be Godzilla. I've got a bit of fiery breath but it's from the other end after I've had too many beers.
After a nasty Vindaloo. Yeah, you actually answered the question I was going to ask, which is what are your favorite monsters in the Godzilla universe?
I say my favorite good guy would be Jet Jaguar.
Jet Jaguar.
It was actually a competition that Toho ran and in the 70s, and it was like a 12-year-old kid came up with it. And they were basically like, oh, well, tokusatsu, which is like their genre of sort of live action special effects, you know, they're superheroes and they're giant heroes, which is still a popular genre. They were like, yeah, let's do that. That looks cool. It was originally called Red Alone. That was his original moniker, and they sort of changed it and moved it about. Jet Jaguar, yeah, and he had some amazing theme tune. And it was so powerful, and it was fantastic. As I was young, I was probably say about 8 when I first seen it, and I was in awe. This giant terror-faced robot and Godzilla just getting on like buds. Yay!
Goofy Godzilla.
That's it. I mean, if you can't enjoy the goofiness of Godzilla, and you're not allowed to enjoy Godzilla. I'm gatekeeping Godzilla right now. If you don't enjoy stupid things.
I mean, so do you enjoy like the wee baby Godzilla thing that they have?
Manila.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Not the
Manila?
not
A
the-
little baby
so the
Godzilla?
biscuit.
I'm going to look this up.
He's a weird pig-faced little thing that's Godzilla's son. And
looks real weird.
the heartwarming scene where he's teaching them to do the fire breath, and all he gets is little smoke rings going. Doo.
It's like when in Lion King when they're trying to make Simba roar.
That's it.
Oh, man, he looks like a...
He looks like the baby from the dinosaurs.
I was going to say that.
Yeah.
He looks like a baby from a dinosaur. He also looks like a Mario villain.
Without the super
Live
crown.
action Yoshi.
It's like a Yoshi got fucking jacked.
No, he looks like one of the ones that's in the Boom Boom, I think it's called. Like, he looks like, you know, the ones in Super Mario Brothers 3.
Oh, just imagine.
Why is no one super crowned that yet? I don't know.
I just want you to imagine you're walking down an alleyway, and then at the end of the alleyway is that just looking at you, and then it just runs in.
See? From Mario.
Nah, he's a jacked up Yoshi.
You're saying he's kind of like a Koopa,
Kind of like a Koopa. King Koopa.
except his dad's Godzilla.
So final question, and then we'll wrap this up. We've got Godzilla 2 coming out.
Godzilla King of Monsters.
Might be
Was
great.
that 2?
Might be terrible. Godzilla 2, comma, King of the Monsters. Godzilla
It's full
2,
official title.
colon, King of the Monsters.
/
Why would you want to be king of a colon?
Silent ampersand.
So the question is, after that we got Godzilla versus Gong.
Did you say Godzilla?
I said,
Godzilla versus
I said
Gong.
Godzilla versus Gong, yes. No, Godzilla versus Kong.
It's a big fish that just fights a gong.
A really
What's-
big symbol, yeah.
What's our 2-year, 3-year prediction in advance of who's going to win that fight? Or if they're going to go for the...
Godzilla always wins.
Yeah, but in the
Always.
original Godzilla versus Kong, it was a mutual agreement not to fuck with each other
At
no
the
more.
end, they shake hands, they both sign the contract. They go, goodbye, this was
But
nice.
after that, how many times did Kong reappear? Not many.
Exactly. So what do we think? It was Godzilla versus Kong. So we got one for Godzilla, Floyd.
Hells yeah.
What are you thinking?
I'm of the full belief, because I understand how this Hollywood cinema works, is they're going to leave it like... So
They're going to team up against a bigger bad, I think.
Oh, you think?
they'll
Oh,
fight-
that's a good option
They'll fight,
as well.
and then they'll be like, nah, like we should
There's
be
a bigger
friends,
threat.
and then they'll kind of like go away separately, and then it'll have a post-credit scene of a monster coming up, and they'll just turning around and going, because you know
No, wait. I think I've just cracked it. I
we're
think
gonna
I've
fight Millie Bobby Brown.
No.
She's going to grow 80 feet tall.
You're both kind of right. So the first half of the film, like Batman v Superman, is going to be them fighting each other.
It's the
and
classic
then,
trope of.
And
of-
then the army is like, fuck, we're going to have to instigate Project Mechagodzilla. And they both have to take on Mechagodzilla.
that would be sweet.
That would be fucking awesome.
And then the moon grows wings and then comes down and beats the shit out of everyone.
The moon?
It also grows arms and legs.
You know,
No one can defeat the moon.
No, just gravity waves.
Yeah.
Neil Armstrong couldn't beat it.
Okay, cool. So
My
that
money's
was
on the moon.
So just to recap before we finish the episode, 1 vote for Godzilla, 1 vote for they team up, 1 vote for they team up and fight Mechagodzilla, and 1 vote for the moon. Ladies and gentlemen, that's it from the Meow Movie Podcast. You got anything to plug, Floyd?
I don't. I'm a ghost online.
Oh,
Well, there we go.
Yeah,
I guess it's just
Well, this will be nice and quick then.
absolutely.
I have a plug I'd like to make.
Go for it.
My big bro has made a short film. So if you're on iTunes, you can jump down into the description. There's a link to the YouTube there. And if you're not on iTunes, you can jump over to our Twitter or my Instagram, which is Gavin's Ramblings, and there's links to it there, and you can go watch the short
What's the name of the film?
It's
Some sunny day.
Some Sunny Day. So if you search for Some Sunny Day on YouTube and just do it by most recent, you'll be able to find it there. So please go support that film and share it. It's an important little film.
Go have a wee cry.
And for myself, I've just started Twitch streaming. So if you want to come and watch me play some video games, I'm doing Overwatch, I'm doing the Hearthstones, I'm doing the Sea of Thieves, I'm doing all the different games that I like to play, except now you can watch me.
And you can see into Gary's dining room.
Maybe.
Is it your dining room?
It is my dining room.
Okay. Those curtains on point.
They're great
hope- I
games,
hope
Can't wait to
right?
see what your curtains are going to be next year.
So you're going to come and see me playing games and chatting nonsense. Pixels Cafe on Twitch. And give us a follow. And next time I'm screaming. Next time I'm screaming.
will be
That's all I do. 3 hours. Just takes down the mic. Please come and give us a watch. Yeah. So that's it from us, guys.
Well,
Thank you so much
the
for
usual
listening.
social media at Meandering Pod, Twitter, Meandering Movie Podcast, Facebook.com, search for Instagram, Meandering Movie Podcast, and there's the email, which one day someone will send an email to. Meandering Movie Podcast.
I'll email you guys.
Thank you.
I'll make a random one. I won't even say it's me.
Yeah, don't. Just send us an email.
Leave us a review on iTunes. Leave us your thoughts and leave us nice comments about Floyd.
Send us a
Floyd's a
riddle,
nice
Floyd.
guy.
I'm
Send us
pretty
a
cool,
riddle.
guys. I'm pretty cool.
That's it, guys. Thank you so much for listening. Have a lovely one, and we'll be back next week. Bye.
It's meandering movies. It's meandering movies. It's meandering movies. So